Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Retro Recall. I hope you're doing awesome. Your eyes are not deceiving you. The Compaq Armada 1700 that we did a video on right there is back on the bench. It's a beautiful machine, growing on me quite a bit, and I've been putting a lot of time into getting this system restored. One thing I've noticed online through archive.org as well as YouTube is that there hasn't been a lot of restorations on this system and or being able to source the files required for this system, which was quite evident in my initial video of trying to get this system restored. Now, I'll stop right there. For anybody who hasn't seen that video, please go take a look at it to see what was done already prior to jumping into this one, because this one is a continuation of that video. All right. So if you recall in the last video, we were able to get this system up and running, and I was able to walk everybody through that and show everybody the journey we took to get the computer running. So again, when I got this machine originally, it just would come up the Compaq logo on the screen. I wouldn't be able to press anything, and the hard drive was making these horrible noises. So it was discovered later that the BIOS itself was installed on a hidden partition on the hard disk. Just mind-blowing why a manufacturer would do that versus using, what we do today is a chip on the motherboard. So I had painstakingly searched the internet and read piles of information of whatever I could find just to come up with a couple of files that could be expanded to be able to get onto two floppies. These two floppies, I was able to restore the partition on the hard disk to be able to get the system, at least the diagnostic area as well as the BIOS area, restored. Through that is where you can control all the pre-hardware settings of the computer before you even start getting into, or start talking about, I should say, operating system land. All right, we have lots to do today. Let's get right to it. Welcome back. As you know, we had the computer in a position with Windows 98 Second Edition installed on it. And that operating system, fortunately, was new enough that it had 99% of the drivers installed. But as you could see, it was a little sluggish utilizing the software at the time when I was trying out some games, which, doesn't have 3D acceleration in this particular model. The driver for the modem was missing, which is a compact driver, and a few other things. And also, it's missing that what we would interpret as bloatware on the computer. I wanted that as part of the full restoration. So it kind of, gives you that full experience of what it would have been like using this laptop fully restored. Now, I had a lot of research I did online on this machine. So I was able to find, just to recap, I was able to find on archive.org the recovery for the 1750 with a bunch of codes and the serial number to use, and unfortunately, it didn't work. As soon as you put the CD in that, it automatically knows it's not a 1750 and just will not work. I thought they were similar enough that it would at least come with the software, and unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So keep in mind, we've now restored the BIOS on the hard disk, but we weren't able to get the software installed, so I continued the hunt. So I was able to find the Compaq Armada 1700, and it noted itself on archive.org as the British version, which is irrelevant. You can change the settings and the regional settings. So I pop this in, and as soon as it goes in, it just won't boot. The system hangs when trying to access this. So I feel like there was an issue with the image itself when it was taken. So I tried to contact the uploader and to try to see if we can get it restored and a few other methods. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to contact them. Also, I researched quite a bit on YouTube, and I found a couple of YouTubers who had the 1700 who claimed they had used the restore disk, the quick restore disk. However, I tried to contact them, and I was not able to get through to be able to see if we can get a restoration. However, I was contacted by the Marine Monkey. And I just want to say, without the Marine Monkey's assistance, this would never have been possible. So there's a lot to cover here. So the Marine Monkey contacted me and said, hey, I have an image of the quick restore disk. And I was like, okay, can you please upload it for me? because I have a serial number on the back of the machine. So sure enough, they imaged it and put it on archive.org. And I will put all the links to everything, including the floppy images, the archive.org, and everything I'm going to talk about today in the bottom in the description for everybody to be able to access the restoration for this beautiful machine. They were able to image their disk, upload it to archive.org, and I was able to download it. And I didn't want their serial number information or their Windows 95 key. I mean, there's lots out there. So I didn't want any of that because, I wanted to keep it to this system. So I took the disk, popped it in, sure enough, it opened. And I was like, oh my goodness, because it wasn't giving me the error that the other disk gave. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any further because I entered my serial number, and that's how Compaq identifies the machine to be able to get through the installation. Well, I did that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get further. It had claimed that if you had swapped the hard disk, there's a BOM ID stored on the hard disk that the disk will look for when you're entering the serial number. So it's expecting a certain BOM ID for it to be able to utilize the serial number that's on the back of this machine. So through the assistance, I reached out to Majenko Tech. So again, thank you so much, Majenko Tech, for helping so much to be able to continue inspiring me to get this machine up and running. Majenko Tech was working through different methods to try to access the CD, to try to find out the information, to be able to, work around the serial number item to be able to utilize the restoration software on the disk. In the interim, I had reached out to the Marine Monkey and asked them if I could utilize their serial number just to test it out. I wasn't going to utilize it past that to see if there was a workaround outside of just utilizing their serial number. And fortunately, they were able to get back to me and said, here's our serial number. However, we also have the original restore documentation. I mean, goosebumps. I mean, I not only do I have the disk and a potentially working code, but I also have the instruction manual that would have came with the restoration. And it gives you all the information about what if this happens. So if for some reason it's not accepting your serial number, it tells you what to do. So I'm going to walk through the restoration today to get the system fully restored by utilizing their CD and the workaround that's in the manual. I'm not utilizing their code because I did test it with their code as well as the code that's offered here, and both come up with the same results. So I'm going to be utilizing the one in the manual. All right, let's get the computer all situated so we can get a better view of what's going on here. Okay, and we're back with a much better view of the system here. And again, just a beautiful looking machine. And it just brings back so many good memories of the late 90s when this machine came out. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we have the software already here. And we're going to turn on the machine, open up the front drive, and pop the CD in here. Okay, the CD's in. It should be restarting. It should boot from the CD. And there we are. Comes up and says starting Windows 95. And it's loading up the drivers for the CD-ROM drive. And there we are. We have the Compaq Quick Restore Utility version 3.08a. So I did get this far in the one, again, this is the same disk that I had. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get past the serial number. We'll show you in a minute. We're going to go to English. And it says here, the Compaq disk is provided for the sole purpose of enabling a Compaq personal computer owner to restore original pre-installed software to a Compaq personal computer. Software provided on the CD is subject to the full terms and conditions of the manufacturer's original software license agreement shipped with the Compaq product. Any use other than specified above is strictly prohibited and will violate the manufacturer's original software license agreement. Well, we're using an original software with the Compaq, and it all checks out. Okay, we're going to click on Continue. And it says, welcome to the Compaq Quick Restore. This utility is supplied by Compaq to provide an easy way for you to restore the software that was originally pre-installed on your Compaq personal computer. So that's what I'm trying to do here. We're trying to get a full working system from the original software. Caution, Quick Restore destroys all data on your hard disk. If you have added personal files or software that you do not want to lose, copy them to diskettes before proceeding. First off, diskettes. Do you wish to continue? Yes. So it's accessing the CD again, spinning up. and it says serial number entry. So this is what happened. I entered the serial number that I had, and I'll show you what happens as a result. And this is where it really created a challenge that allowed me to do additional research from many different user groups out there. So that's just a serial number on one of the machines. I hit enter, and it says the serial number you entered is not supported by Quick Restore. Select yes to re-enter the serial number or no to quick restore. Quick restore. So this is exactly the challenge, and you can see how frustrating it could be to get this far. And I thought we were done because I was actually starting to back down a bit, and I said, well, you know what? I hadn't heard from Marine Monkey just yet at this point. Majenko Tech was working on it for me. We had worked together over a Twitch video call, and we were able to work through some of the things to see if we could bypass this, because this is obviously looking for a particular serial number to be able to activate. And then based on what I read on the internet, it was that bomb ID it was looking for, but there was no sort of legend. We found the utility to write the bomb ID to the hard disk. However, there was no legend to say the Compaq Armada 1700 has bomb ID X. So I wasn't able to do that. So we were kind of stumped, and we were working on different methods. But in the interim, as I mentioned, the Marine Monkey got back to me. So we're going to click on yes because we're going to try a different serial number. So Marine Monkey, when they gave me their serial number, it worked. And it gave me an option, what we're going to see here in a moment. So I went, well, wait a minute. I don't want to use theirs. I want to use my own, and my own won't work. So they said, okay, well, there's something in the manual that I scanned and uploaded to archive.org. So I was able to take their information, open this up, and look through it. And sure enough, it states right here, and this is all on archive.org, and I'm going to link the description and all the links down below, because I want everybody who has a machine like this to be able to continue to restore it, because unfortunately, there's not a lot out there on this. So it says here for the instructions on the screen. So just as a side note, it walked you through all the process up to this point. So you're not missing anything there. So it says, you will be prompted to enter a 12-character serial number located on the rear of the computer. After entering the serial number, if you receive the message warning the serial number you have entered is not valid, please retype the serial number, then press enter. Verify that you have entered the correct serial number and retry. If the error persists, enter the code, and it gives you a code for Armada 1700 models or another code for Armada SB models. You will also be prompted for the keyboard language during the process. So I was like, all right, I have a fallback because I tested theirs and it worked fine. But I said, I want to use something generic to make sure this is as genuine as possible, not utilizing their setup. So let's enter 0000, COM1, COM1, and then 0000. So this is a code that it gives you in the actual 1700 manual. Let's hit enter. Bam. We are now past whatever that was to get to where we need to be to restore all the original settings, all the original software, all the original drivers back to this computer. I just think it's so exciting to get to this point. So software selection using the arrow keys, highlight the selection that applies to your specific Compaq personal computer model number to make sure the correct software is restored on your hard disk, then press enter. So it says Armada model 1700 US, and then it gives a code. Now I entered their serial number, another serial number I had, which did not work, theirs did, and then this one here as well, and they all come up with the same information. So my understanding is it's looking for some sort of hardware ID in the computer. It's not associated with the disk, which is good. So I was able to find this. So I'm going to hit enter. And it says here, you have made the following selection. Is this correct? We're going to say yes. It's spinning up the disk again. And it says the software that was originally pre-installed in your Compaq personal computer will now be restored on your hard disk. Caution, this process will bring your Compaq personal computer software to its original pre-installed condition. Personal files, software, or other data from all hard drives will be lost. Very, very big letters and exclamation point. You should back up your personal files, software, or other data from all hard drives to diskette. Do you wish to continue? Absolutely yes. All right, so it says Quick Restore is now restoring your original pre-installed software. So we're going to let this go, and we're going to kind of do a little fast forward here as we go through this, so you don't have to, because I think this will take a little bit to do. So here we go. Okay, and we've reached the finish here. So it says quick restore is complete. Remove both the diskette and CD from your computer. Press enter if you want to complete the process by going through the initial startup at this time. Turn off the computer if you want to complete the initial startup at a later time. Well, I'm going to remove the CD because we definitely want to do that now. We'll hit enter for restart, and we'll see what comes up on the screen. Starting Windows 95. Okay, so we have the Compaq desktop here, so it's starting to look more and more like a Compaq computer. So it says here, thank you for purchasing a Compaq personal computer. Well, you're welcome. You can now personalize the software that is currently installed on your personal computer. Time and date have different formats in different countries. You will be asked to select the country that matches the format that you want to use, so country convention. You will also be asked to identify the type of keyboard that is attached to your computer. To personalize your software, you'll be asked to enter your name, the name of your company, and the current date and time. Press the enter key to continue. So we'll hit enter. There we are. We have a little bit of Compaq branding on the Windows 95 splash screen here. More and more like the restoration, which is what we really wanted here. So it's continuing to update our files and configuration. There we go. The drivers seem to be installing a little more. So it says Windows is starting your computer. Please wait while Windows copies necessary files. So we have the typical drummer, going on there, which we saw in Windows 95, but it's definitely Compaq, edited, modified for this installation, which is exactly what we were looking for. It just feels so good after so many days of hunting down software and trying to get this restored that it will finally be in a place that we can say that anybody who has a 1700 can go on archive.org and get these resources. Again, special call out and thank you to both the Marine Monkey and Majenko Tech for making this happen. So thank you so much. All right, it's continuing to copy files from the Windows 95 CD-ROM. So the stuff that's coming up here is pretty standard. We see that in the standard Windows 95 setup. So the control panel, program start menu, all the different settings that it's creating here for us. All right. Classic Windows 95. So you can see how the screen in the DOS mode is still 640 by 480. Someone had suggested that in the BIOS settings, there's a way to expand that. So in this video, we'll definitely check out to see if the settings are there. Somebody suggested just resetting defaults because once I installed the software, it would have just been whatever it had installed. So my understanding is that that's what would have been required, but we'll see. Windows 95 startup. Okay, the software is being installed for you automatically. So preparing applications, do not turn off your computer during this process, or bad things can happen. All right, we'll continue on here. Okay, we're back to the desktop again after it installed all the hardware and the settings. So it says here, regional settings. Many Windows programs support international settings. Regional settings affect how these programs display and sort numbers. So we're going to go English, Canadian. That's where I am. Next. And then keyboard layout, we'll go, usually choose United States 101 keyboard. Is installing your international settings. Okay, user information, the retro recall. And yes, we accept the agreement. And we'll enter the key. Of course, you can get that key anywhere. And then start wizard, we'll hit finish. Setup needs to restart your computer to complete the changes to your original settings and keyboard layout. No problem, we'll hit OK. And it's restarting the computer again. Okay, and here we are to the Windows 95 desktop that is Compaq branded. Take a look, everybody. It took a lot of work to get here to this stage, and I'm hoping that by doing this video, everybody will be able to do the same if you have one of these machines. So we have Welcome Microsoft Internet Explorer. Welcome Internet Explorer 4. Click to start a quick tour. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to close for now. And then we have our desktop. So, I mean, we have a couple options here. We're going to go over this machine in terms of what came with it. We could upgrade this to Windows 98 and it would probably keep the existing settings. However, I'm leaving it as Windows 95 for now because that's what came with this computer and that's what was with it. Now, my understanding is that there was a Windows 98 version of the Restore, but that's even more rare. But again, this it's nice having this all restored. So let's go into Device Manager real quickly here because what we want to do is check to make sure that everything's been installed properly. So you can see here, it says Windows 95 version B, registered the retro recall, manufactured and supported by Compaq. So again, being the factory installation, Compaq Computer Corporation, Armada family, Pentium Pro, which is the Pentium 2, and 32 megs of RAM is installed in this computer. And as you know, it does have the ability to go 160 megabytes with an additional stick of memory that it will accept. Device Manager, let's go in here. So this time we have everything installed. Let's go through it real quickly here. So we have our Mashita CD-ROM drive. That's the 24-speed CD-ROM drive. Display adapters. There's our Chips and Tech 65555 PCI card. Nothing to write home about. It is not 3D capable, so it is very limited that way. Our infrared port that's built into the board. There's our modem, our Compaq 56VL global internal modem. That was something that was not being installed. And then we have our standard monitor. It says unknown monitor because it's just your LCD. And then your sound and video and game controllers. There's our ES1869 plug and play audio drive. So there's our sound card. And then we have our USB and system devices. So it looks like it has fully installed everything that we needed to have installed in terms of drivers, which is great. So on the desktop, it gives you Internet Explorer, your Windows Messenger, or your Outlook Express, I should say, your inbox. I think they just called it Windows Messaging back then. Recycle bin, the Microsoft Network, if you wanted to, my briefcase, which is for file sharing on your network. Online services, so you could potentially connect to different services, so AOL, AT&T, CompuServe, and set up WoW from CompuServe as well. So you have different options from them. It's just interesting to see what kind of software came with these computers. Compaq Information Center. Let's double click that to see what pops up. So we have Compaq Dictionary, Compaq Safety and Comfort Guide, Manageability, Intelligent Manageability, and Reference Guide, as well as technical release notes. So definitely neat to see what came with this computer. And to be honest with you, so we have Outlook Express down here. And to be honest with you, I expected a lot more, software on here, which is nice to see that it's not completely filled up. So that's that file we just looked at on the desktop. MS-DOS, Real DOS mode. So here it gives you, tells you basically how to access Real DOS mode, what it's about. So under programs, we have under accessories, just your standard Windows 95 stuff that's been installed here, which is great to see that we don't have a lot of extra stuff, but it does, it does give us enough that, it's working well. So that's really good. And then Internet Explorer, so we have all of our different options in here. So we have Microsoft Chat, Microsoft Net Meeting, NetShow Player, Outlook Express, Real Player. That's neat that came with it. Web Publishing Wizard, Connection Wizard, Address Book, all those good things. There's our online services. Nothing in the startup right now, I would imagine. Okay, so we have all that there. The other thing I'll notice here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have some additional information. So it says we have our battery is 100% remaining. Now, this battery does hold a charge. I don't know how accurate this is, but it does hold the charge, which is excellent. Then the next icon we have down here is Compaq Programmable Keys. So remember, in my last video, I talked about those 4 keys on the top of the keyboard above the function keys and escape key. So in here, you're actually able to program them as a result. So we've just restored access to those keys by installing this software, which is fantastic, but good to see. And then we have our display settings, our audio settings, and what else do we have? Compaq Intelligent Manageability. I'll open that up and see what this is all about. So alert properties, so recommended actions. So it gives you basically what things you want to trigger alerts by the looks of things. SNMP, DMI, backup, so proactive backup software, and version. So this just kind of lays on top. It looks like the software lays on top that accesses other applications, so you can manage it through this portal. Yeah, I think we are good in terms of getting this installed. I'm just going to restart the computer real quickly here, and we're going to go into hit restart. We're going to jump into the BIOS real quickly because I want to see, I believe it's F10. I want to see if we have the option to, as suggested in the comments, to expand this screen larger than the 640 by 480. There we go, we're in OK. And then we're going to, let's see here, computer setup. So this will be restarted to go into the computer setup now. And again, all this is stored on the hard disk, which is just silly to me because the hard disk dies, you have to go through all this again. The other thing I'll note is the Marine Monkey also did what I did here on their machine, and they took a complete image of this system and completely uploaded it to archive.org as well. So if you don't have access for whatever reason to the CD or the floppies, there's an actual image out there. You just write directly to a hard disk, pop it back in the machine, it should boot right up. Okay, let's see in here. So I had gone through all of these before, so I'm not sure if there's anything in here that would allow us to change the video settings to access that. Let's just see. I see audio, there's video. So it does give us the resources for the video, but someone had mentioned if you restore it to factory settings, which we've done already. So if you know in the comments how to make this screen bigger than the 640 by 480 that we're showing, instead of just utilizing the DOS mode and what have you this way, then we might be able to get better image on the screen. I'm not sure if it's capable of doing that based on what I'm seeing, but again, just want to throw it out there that I am checking this out again as per the suggestions in the comments in the last video. Okay, I'm not seeing anything in here that will allow us to change what we need to change. So we're going to boot back into Windows and see if we can access the real DOS mode through Windows as well. Okay, and we're back to the desktop. So before I do anything else, I just want to check out the properties to see what sort of backgrounds we have here. So we have the Compaq background by the looks of things here. And we'll see what else we have. It seems like we have different sizes for different screen resolutions, as you can see, which is pretty cool. Then we have the Windows 95 standard stuff here by the looks of things. And then we have Active Desktop. So we're just going to choose, and I believe that's from Internet Explorer. Let's go back and choose the one we had. Screensaver, I don't know if it gives you anything outside of the Windows 95 ones. And sure enough, that's what it looks like to me. Same thing with appearance, just your standard stuff. I wonder if it has any sort of Compaq themes. Let's see here. Nope, not as part of this installation. Chips is the chipset manufacturer, so we have the refresh rate here. TV control monitor type. This does not have the output for the external TV. You'd have to obviously have a TV with a VGA port, but then it would just consider it a monitor. So we have web options for setting up the active desktop as a web page. And then we have our settings, which is for the monitor itself. So for the video card, so it's pretty good. Okay, so that's good. I didn't check that earlier. That's what I wanted to check. So I did test out off camera the real DOS mode, and all it does is restart the computer in DOS mode. So it has a special config sys and autoexec.bat file that when you restart the computer, it automatically puts you into DOS mode versus shutting Windows down and putting you in DOS mode. So the difference is it restarts the computer versus just putting you in DOS mode. So I think that's just a Compaq related item that gets added in here. I don't remember it being any of my Windows 95 disks. So if you click on shut down, you can see where it says as part of the Windows 95 installation, restart in DOS mode, so it is slightly different. But that said, I want to show everyone something. We'll go into MS-DOS prompt for a moment. So we'll just hit Alt-Enter so we can see it in full screen. Now, again, I have not been able to look at DOS scaling. I have not been able to find a setting in the BIOS. I was not able to find anything in the manual. So if anyone knows if this laptop is capable of doing that, please let me know. I'm happy to test it out. But unfortunately, it's not working on this model. So one thing I want to try here is Doom 2. And remember, when we tried to play it last time, there was absolutely zero audio. I couldn't get it working. Everything I did to try the proper settings for the sound card, the proper IRQ, the DMA, everything just would not function. But now, as part of the restoration and the proper drivers being installed, we have sound and we have sound effects. So it's pretty awesome, I think, to have this system all set up. Yeah, so I think it's pretty awesome. So let's head back to the desktop here. So here we are after a full restoration of this beautiful Compaq Armada 1700 with our Restore CD, as well as our BIOS restoration diskettes that we have, and the manual, for goodness sakes, the quick restore manual for that software. Yes, there's manuals online for this computer, but there wasn't anything about the quick restore. So again, thank you so much to the Marine Monkey and to Majenko Tech for helping get this piece of history restored and preserved. That is what we're all about, and it's absolutely wonderful to see this fully functioning again. And it's just a treat to be able to use this computer. It definitely brings me back to memories of the day. Really nostalgic being able to play the older software and games. And we could upgrade this Windows 95, but there's always more and more and more you can do, which kind of takes you out of the element of what this computer was back in the day. So again, I'll put the links down below in the comments. So for all the archive.org uploads that Marine Monkey has done for us. And, I'm just so happy we were able to partake in this journey together. And thanks to everybody, the retro community, to all my viewers who contributed to making this machine fully operational again. That said, if you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. Hit the notification button, change it to all. You'll be notified of new content such as this. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know about your journey. Do you have a machine like this? You were looking for the discs. Does this help you out at all? I'm definitely interested in hearing your stories. I respond to absolutely every comment. I love the interaction on the channel. Always making new content. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.